Hello, everyone. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the Sunday Night League. It has been a number of weeks now since we last had a race. We had an Easter break for 2 weekends in a row. So it has been 3 weeks since our last stream. Last time out, it was round 4 at Dragon Trail. Bunnies 9999 coming out victorious on that occasion ahead of Wendigo, who seems to be picking up a tendency to finish P2. So, in that time, SNL has let their drivers rest. They have enjoyed their breaks, I'm sure. And they have prepared. They have prepared themselves for the race that sits ahead of us now. The one at a new track, not just for Formula X, but for SNL as a whole. The first time ever SNL comes to the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve, the track that Formula One races at in Montreal, Canada. And as a Canadian myself, I'm very excited for that. As are, I'm sure, many of our drivers, Bunnies, Ajax, and Punisher, all in this race and all Canadian themselves. And if I could find the standings, that would be lovely. There they are. But actually, that's not even what I need first. That's what I need first. Okay. So, today, we have, once again, Gasman on pole. It's the number 89 McLaren. There's nowhere else to expect him on the grid but the front. And that's exactly where he's gone. That number 89 McLaren of Gasman sits on pole position. He qualified on a set of soft compound tires. So he has nowhere he can go but backwards. But Gasman is a very rapid driver, a champion for a reason, and you can expect to see him fighting at the front for the win. Second on the grid is Ajax. So Ajax has the number 12 Ferrari, and he qualified on soft compound tires. You'll also notice that he is running a 2004 Michael Schumacher helmet for this round. Of course, he is running a 2004 Ferrari livery, and I'll explain to you why he's doing this Michael Schumacher helmet in a moment, but not yet. Third place on the grid is Bondimus in the Lotus. Bondimus comes back once again on soft compound tires, and as per usual is at the front of the grid. Oh, and I see now that he's got a little Transformers logo there, maybe taking inspiration from Rob always having Grogu on his cars. But in this case, it's a Transformers logo. So that is very cool, I think. Bondmas, though, qualified on soft compound tires, the number 32 Lotus, going from third. Fourth is Ben, number 2, Toro Rosso, winner in Tokyo Expressway. I apologize, it should not have taken me that long to remember the name of that track. But yes, winner in Tokyo Expressway, Ben, qualifies fourth on the grid and looks to see if he can move up onto the podium positions. Next up is the second of the McLarens. It is Punisher. Number 24, Punisher will be looking to see what he can do at his home race. So the second Canadian we've seen on this grid so far. Punisher will be looking to do well today. At his home Grand Prix, he qualified on a set of soft compound tires, and I forgot to mention that Ben also qualified on softs. That seems to be the trend at the front of the grid. Next up is Wendigo, second place in the championship, but does not have a win yet. Wendigo qualified on medium compound tires qualified 6th, as you can see, the number 40 Cadillac. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's gone very aggressive on tires today, but we'll get into that in a moment. Next up, in 7th on the grid, is Bunnies. The number 1 Williams, the reigning champion, qualified on medium compound tires. And you'll notice in his 2004 Williams livery, he's got a 2004 Ralph Schumacher helmet. So Bunnies and Ajax are, of course, brothers, as were Ralph and Michael Schumacher. And that is why these two are doing the Michael and Ralph Schumacher, not just liveries, but for this race, helmets. Because they have the same age gap as Michael and Ralph Schumacher. And in this case, Ralph and Michael Schumacher got their first ever 1-2 in Formula 1 at this circuit in Montreal. So in the hopes of replicating that, Ajax and Bunnies are running Ralph and Michael Schumacher helmets. So this should be an interesting one. It's not the usual helmet for either of them, but we'll see what they can do from 2nd and 7th on the grid respectively. The idea of a 1-2 already looking a bit tricky, with Bunnies only qualifying 7th. On mediums, I forget if I mentioned that. Next up is Lynchmus, 8th place in qualifying. It's a nice lap time from Lynchmus on soft compound tires to put him 8th, number 69 Toro Rosso. Next up, it is 9th place on the grid. It's Rob on drums, the American, number 42 in the American car, the Cadillac. He will be looking to move forwards. He qualified on a set of mediums, did the Cadillac driver. That makes 2 Cadillacs that qualified on mediums. Next up is Aloe, number 57. Aloe in the Ferrari qualified on mediums and finds himself 10th on the grid. 11th goes to Mr. Smith. So Slenderfella, unfortunately unable to make it today due to some last-minute situations. And so Mr. Smith will assume the tires that Slenderfella submitted for himself. So Mr. Smith qualified on mediums. Number 44 joins Williams, the American, alongside Bunnies in the Williams for this round. And I have to say, actually, I hadn't noticed this helmet before. It appears to be something of a black and white Ayrton Senna tribute helmet. And I think that's quite cool looking, actually. But, anyways, number 44, Mr. Smith qualifies 11th on the mediums. And you'll notice there are a number of unfortunately empty spots on the grid today. Both Audi drivers unable to make it, Tamo and Climicision. Slenderfella obviously unable to make it, but Mr. Smith able to fill in for him. And Super Toxic, last minute, unable to make it as well. We're sorry to see him and the Audis missing. And of course, we only have a 14-car grid this season, but 2 more spots for the 15th and 16th cars, which, who knows, should we have the people, may get added soon enough. So a number of empty spots on the grid today. Unfortunately, only 11 drivers able to make it today, but we still have one hell of a race in store for you, I am sure. Let's go through the tires. First up, Bunnies has soft, hard, hard for today. Slenderfella, or apologies, Mr. Smith has medium, hard, hard. Ajax has soft, medium, hard. Aloe has soft, medium, medium. Both McLarens, that's Gasman and Punisher, are both soft, soft, medium. Both Toro Rossos and Bondimus are triple softs. So Ben, Lynchmus, and Bondimus are triple softs. Super Toxic, unable to make the race today, unfortunately, would have been soft, soft, medium. Rob on drums is going soft, soft, hard. Wendigo is going triple softs, so that is incredibly dangerous for the drivers at the front. Wendigo is a proven rapid driver, and triple softs will be dangerous. I mean, that's not to say Bondimus, Ben, and Lynchmus won't be dangerous triple softs, but Wendigo is the guy sitting second in the championship, bear in mind. And the two Audis, which did not make it, didn't submit their tires, so they have been given triple hards for this round. So there's the tires. I'll return to them at needed points throughout the race. Let's do championship standings quickly before we get going. Bunnies sits first in the championship on 92 points. Second is Wendigo on 89. Ajax third on 75. Gasman on 70 in fourth. And fifth is Tamo on 67 points. Slenderfella sits a nice sixth position on 54 points. So the second of the Williams there. And then there's Ben in the Toro Rosso on 53 points, only 1 point behind Slenderfella. 48 points for Lowy in 8th, 40 points for Rob on drums in 9th, and 33 points for Punisher in 10th. Bondimus sits on 30 points in 11th, only having done 2 rounds, so he is really catapulting himself up through the standings now. Alpha Capri in 12th on 13 points. Lynchimus, his replacement, also on 13 points. Climicision on 12 points. Super Toxic on 9 points. And Jam on 5 in 16th place. So, those are our standings for the drivers. But let's go through the teams now. Last thing before we can get going with this excellent race, I promise. 146 points for Williams in first. 17 points back on 129 is Cadillac. 123 points for Ferrari, and 103 for McLaren. They sit in fourth in the Constructors. Fifth is Audi on 84 points. Toro Rosso is 74 points in sixth, and Lotus, trailing a bit behind, is on 44 points. But Bondimus doing his best to drag Lotus back up the order. So, with all of that out of the way, I'll pull the tires back up so that I have quick and easy access to them. And with that, it must be said, 11 drivers, Mr. Smith, Aloe, Rob on drums, Lynchmas, Bunnies, Wendigo, Punisher, Ben, Bondimus, Ajax, and Gasman. 11 drivers fighting for the win today. It's a new track for SNL. It's a new track for all of these drivers. Who can put their name in the history books first at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal for SNL? Let's find out now. Salut Gilles, it says at the start-finish line. Let's get going with this race. Gasman on pole, Ajax alongside him. There's 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights are out and we are racing here at Montreal. It's a good getaway for Ajax. He's already up alongside Gasman. Gasman's going to have some challenge into turn 1. It's Ajax on the outside who slips through into the lead of his home Grand Prix. Ben, what a start as well. Ben gets past Gasman as well. Gasman is struggling for traction. You can see him sliding around. Ben has had a lovely start, though, up from 4th into 2nd as we go through the first of the chicanes. This track has a lot of chicanes to navigate, about 4 of them to be exact. Gasman in 3rd, 4th is Bondimus, 5th is, actually, as I've just seen on the minimap, there are some drivers who seem to have had an incident. What has happened here? As there's contact between Mr. Smith and Aloe at the back of the grid, or reminiscent of 2017, I want to say, in Formula 1. I believe Grosjean and Toro Rosso, if I'm not mistaken, made contact on that occasion, but an incident between the two of them and Mr. Smith slowing up. Clearly he believes he was at fault for that incident. But as we go back to the front of the grid, it is Ajax who leads the way in that Michael Schumacher helmet, doing the most Michael Schumacher thing he could, leading the way and building up a gap from turn 1 onwards. It's Ben in 2nd, Gasman right behind him though. Bit of a snap of oversteer for Ben, but he seems to get away from the corner better than Gasman. It's going to be Bondimus right on the back of him now, trying to put pressure on him. Can Bondimus get past Gasman down the long straight? We're coming to the end of lap 1. He thinks better of it before going for a move into the final chicane. Of course, the Wall of Champions there as we navigate through those bunnies over the curves and into the Wall of Champions. Our first champion, a victim of the Wall of Champions. It's Bunnies who hits the wall, loses the position to Rob on drums, and he's going to have to fight Lynchimus if he wants to keep this position. Bunnies on hards. That won't be helping him, but he does manage to stay ahead of Lynchimus for the time being, but you can see the damage on his car. Thankfully, that will repair itself, but we have one champion already a victim of the Wall of Champions. As Ben has seemingly made a mistake, he's down to 4th now. Bondimus and Gasman getting through on him. Punisher now as well, down the inside into the chicane. The Canadian looking to get past the British-German driver. I need to talk to Ben and actually ask which of those he'd like me to refer to him as. And the Lithuanian behind him, Wendigo, here in the Cadillac. Bunnies is back through on Rob on drums into the chicane. Bunnies may be victim of the Wall of Champions already, but he's already making up ground again after that mistake. Rob on drums, under pressure now from Lynchimus. Lynchimus to the inside of the hairpin. Can he make the move? On the outside of this hairpin here, you can see the grandstand. That is the Lance Stroll grandstand, named for Lance Stroll in 2018, the race where he crashed out on lap 1 before making it to the Lance Stroll grandstand. Ooh, Ben looks to the inside of Gasman. Punisher, apologies. Punisher makes a mistake. That's the second Canadian into the Wall of Champions, but as far as I'm aware, no other champions into it yet. Punisher makes the mistake. Yes, he does get some damage. I didn't realize I was looking at Wendigo for a moment. Thought he got away with it without damage. That would have been exceptional. But no, Punisher does pick up some damage. It will fix itself, of course. So nothing huge to worry about. But Ajax, this is the dream start for Ajax. He's on soft compound tires. Admittedly, it's Gasman in second. He doesn't want Gasman doing too well. Gasman is going to be one of his main championship contenders. But Gasman running well, but still dropping a bit behind Ajax. Ajax has a more comfortable gap now. A mistake would certainly put him into the claws of Gasman, but he is, for now, safe out in front. Bondimus in third, running a very nice race, right where he started. He's dropped some positions, he's gained some positions, and overall he's now in a net zero gain. Or loss, for that matter. Ben in fourth, running nicely here. We are actually running more or less how we started. Punisher and Wendigo having swapped around, but the top 4 remains the same as how they started, despite all... Or no, that's not true. Gasman started on pole, not Ajax. So Ajax has made up a position. Gasman has lost one. Ajax sets a 121.3. Gasman will cross the line. They've got about 3.5 seconds between them. So that is looking very nice for Ajax out in front already. Gasman, it's Gasman in second. I apologize if you can hear the phone ringing behind me. Bondimus in third, Ben in fourth, Wendigo in fifth, and Punisher in sixth. And there in the background is Bunnies. He's trying to stick with this top 6, but all 6 of them are on soft compound tires. He runs on hards at the moment, and that's not an easy task for him. Rob on drums also on hards. So Rob, that is an interesting strategy from Rob. Rob is soft hard, so I suspect Rob will do his first stint full thing on hards, and then he'll just run 2 regular stints of softs after that. Lynchimus sits on soft compound tires. He's got a Lowy coming from behind, looking to pressure him on soft compound tires. So it's really 2 different stories going on here for the Ferraris. Ajax leads the way, Aloe meanwhile struggling slightly down in 10th after contact with this man, Mr. Smith, on lap 1. Mr. Smith continues on his way in 11th position, doing his best to catch up to the pack, but he is on hard compound tires. Slenderfella, I think, feeling not overly confident about this round before the race, and then of course having to drop out, so giving these suboptimal tires to Mr. Smith, admittedly, but It should serve Slenderfellow well, leaving some softer tires for his more confident rounds. Next up, of course, will be Brands Hatch. Ajax leads the way in first still, and it is looking more and more comfortable by the lap, by the corner, dare I say, even. The Scotsman, Gasman, trying to chase him down, but nothing doing at this stage of the race. We are only 5 laps in, granted, but what that does mean is that at the end of this lap, you are now allowed to pit to change your tires. Of course, the tire rules this season. Drivers select their 3 tires from a set allocation that is given to them pre-season, and then they will go through that allocation throughout the season. They will get tire penalties for finishing on the podium. Otherwise, it's just the tires you use, you lose, and then you use what you've got left. But if you finish on the podium, you will lose some of your softer tires to harder tires as the season goes on. So, the drivers pick their 3 tires before the race, and then they have only those 3 tires. If they pick soft, if they go soft, medium, hard, such as Ajax, they can use softs once. They have 1 set of softs they can use, they have 1 set of mediums they can use, and they have 1 set of hards they can use. They must use all 3 compounds of tires, no more, no less. Of course, if it rains, they can switch on to intermediate or wet, and then they're no longer required to use all 3 sets of tires, but they are still required 2 pit stops within the race. And, the other bit is that you have to do 5 tires minimum on every set of tire that you have. So, we are now on lap 6. Nobody appears to have pitted. So, that's not relevant quite yet, but I imagine we'll see some drivers starting to pit soon. You might start seeing them pit soon, or otherwise you would see them around the 12-lap mark, I would think. Number 12, speaking of which, is in the lead of the race still. It's Ajax. We'll check his gap to Gasman when Gasman crosses the line. Ooh, it's gone down. It's just under 3 seconds now. Gasman to Ajax. So Gasman gaining on Ajax, who was a 22.5 last lap from Ajax, who was a 21.6, so 9/10 gain from Gasman on that lap, and Bondimus setting the fastest lap of the race at 21.2. Ben sits behind in 4th, having set a 21.8 last lap, but a 21.5 the previous lap, his personal best so far this race. Wendigo in 5th to 21.9. Punisher, 22.3 last lap, and a 23.1 for the first of our hard compound tire runners. Nobody on mediums at this stage in the race, only softs and hards out on track right now. Rob on drums also on hards, his best lap at 24.8, last lap at 25.1. 24.0 for Lynchmas last lap, 24.4 for Lowy, who dropped back from Lynchmas ahead of him a little bit. And Mr. Smith, 26.3, so struggling to get to grips with the cars again. It is lovely to see him on the grid, but these are tricky cars, and you really can't shame him for having a bit of difficulty getting back into the swing of things. Ajax across the line, its fastest lap of the race. He does not like seeing that gap go down. It's a 21.3 for Gasman, it's a 21.2 for Ajax, who pulls a 10th away. Then is up into 30s ahead of Bondimus. When did he do that? So through the final chicane, Bondimus makes a mistake into the wall of champions, and then is going to be in his slipstream. I wonder if that could be a telling sign of the future for Bondimus, but then through into turn 1, on the inside, makes the move very cleanly there. That was a lovely move from then into the podium positions, and Bondimus suffering from his mistake of hitting the wall of champions. It's Wendigo behind Punisher and Bunnies, who completes his first pit stop, and who will refill about halfway to full, it looks like. And he is onto a new set of hards. So he's using his second set of hards now. He looks to be going probably only about 6 or 7 laps from here, so it'll be a long time on his singular set of soft compound tires, presumably. But we'll see exactly how he manages that. Punisher in 6th, Rob on drums in 7th now. Bunny's behind in 8th, looking to catch up. Lynchmas behind in 9th. His soft compound tires could give him advantage over the cold hards of Bunny's for the couple of laps. Lowy in 10th. He is still trying to catch up to Lynchmas, but Lynchmas' pace is quite good as it stands, and Lowy struggling to close in the gap. And Mr. Smith, of course, last but not least, number 44, sits in 11th. Ajax continues another lap, as do Gasman. Bondimus, who is back ahead of Ben. When did he get that done? Well, he's done it before the long straight, or before the final chicane at least. Possibly did it down the long straight, but Bondimus back through on Ben. We missed that, but the Lotus driver usurps 3rd position from Ben. Wendigo is right on the back of these guys, and I tell you what, for a man sitting in 2nd in the championship, who was so close to taking the GTE championship last time we ran it, and who is looking desperately for his first win of the season, going triple softs this round, looking for a win to help himself get to the championship, Wendigo is struggling down in 5th. He can't seem to quite get past Ben, Bondimus, Gasman, or Ajax. He is stuck down in 5th. He navigated Punisher at the beginning of the race, but since then he has been stuck in 5th, and these drivers ahead, their pace has just been fantastic, and there's nothing he can seem to do about it. Speaking of Punisher, he's a Canadian in his home race. It is lovely to see him. And, Punisher, if you're watching, I'd be curious to know, what is your favorite part of this track, being your home circuit, of course? What would you say is your favorite part of this track? Maybe the history, a particular corner, the atmosphere, anything you want. And I don't even know for sure if Punisher is watching this, but if you are, I'd be very curious to hear your answer to that question. For your home race. And Rob on drums is actually under pressure from Bunny's now. Bunny's on the outside, unable to make a move at the hairpin. We'll go on board with him now, as he's going to slide into the slipstream of Rob on drums. He goes to the outside, he's on the overtake, and he is through on Rob on drums, nice and early down the straight. Rob doesn't want to give this up yet, though. He's on the inside, unable to outbrake the Canadian ahead of him. And so Bunny's makes up the position, back up into 7th after his pit stop. Setting a 22.4 while he's at it. So that's a pretty solid lap, only 4 tenths slower than the Punisher last lap. About 7 tenths slower than Wendigo. About 4 tenths slower than Ben. And Bondimus is under pressure from Ben now, down towards the hairpin. Ben is going to go for it down the inside, into the hairpin, but surely Bondimus can get him back down the long straight. He'll now have the slipstream. No, they're still side by side. Oh, a little bit of contact from them. A little bit squirrely from both of them. But Bondimus now will slip into the slipstream, and Bondimus on board once again with a driver down the long straight. Bondimus for Team Lotus goes through. Wendigo can see this. He's hoping for a mistake from one of them. There it is. There's the mistake from Bondimus. Ben can capitalize. He goes to the inside of the next corner. Are they going to go 3 wide? Yes, they are. It's Wendigo, Ben, and Bondimus. Wendigo down the inside of both of them. He's up into 3rd. Ben has to remain 4th as he gets one position and loses another. And Bondimus, with that huge snap of oversteer out of turn 2, drops even further behind as he loses 2 positions into turn 1. Hello, all, says Rob on drums. Good to see you in the chat, Rob. But Bondimus, wow, it's a disastrous couple of corners from him. He tries to make the move on Ben, makes the mistake, and Ben and Wendigo capitalize. Wendigo gets the move on both of them, up into 3rd position. The Lithuanian, who I had said was struggling with this track, struggling to get ahead of these people, finally makes his move, and he makes it count, getting 2 in 1. What a move from Wendigo. Ben behind, though, is not going to give this up, and neither is Bondimus, frankly. Let's just take a quick look. Gasman and Ajax, both a reasonable gap between them. As here comes Ben on Wendigo. He wants that position. To the inside goes Ben. Down towards the final chicane. He slips through ahead of Wendigo now. He has the fastest lap of the race. He has 3rd position. And Punisher saying to me directly on Discord, the backside straight into the Wall of Champions would be his favorite part of this track, and I have to say that is a lovely answer. The Wall of Champions is very cool, and running down that straight directly next to the river that this track sits on an island within is very, very cool. We'll go on board with Punisher next time we're going down that straight, I think, because it is really quite a fantastic view. Ajax in first. He's pretty low on fuel, though. I think he'll be in at the end of this lap, because I doubt that fuel can go any longer. Gasman seems to have saved a little bit of fuel. I wonder if he'll go 13 laps on this stint. That would open up the possibility of going 12 and 12 afterwards. So thank you also for your answer, Punisher, to my question. Always love to hear the driver's thoughts on these things. So Gasman second, Ben third. Wendigo is now under pressure from Bondimus. Wendigo looks like he'll go another lap or two. Ben and Bondimus could maybe go one more, but I think it would be a stretch, to be honest. Ajax goes into the pits, Gasman does not, Ben does not, Wendigo makes a mistake but does not go in, and Bondimus does. Will Punisher be into the pits? He is, so we'll watch him down that straight next time around, because we want to get a chance to see the home driver at his favorite part of his home track. And Rob saying he likes the exits of every chicane in Sector 1, apologies. I also think that's quite a good answer. The chicanes are a very tricky part of this track, but when you get them right, it feels fantastic, and the exits just shooting away from them is really cool. So Gasman usurps first place in this race following Ajax's pit stop. Ajax comes out ahead of his brother, quite a distance ahead in fact. Bondimus will come out just behind Bunnies. So Bunnies is in 5th, but he looks like he'll be pitting again quite soon based on his fuel. Ben continues in 2nd, Wendigo in 3rd. These three will all be pitting very soon. I think we'll see Gasman and Ben in at the end of this lap. We could see Wendigo go another lap. That would be a shock, I think, but it's not impossible. Ajax continues on his way. He is staying on the same set of soft compound tires, so he's going to do 2 stints on those softs. Bunny's on his hards, coming towards the end of his own stint, and we do see Gasman and Ben into the pits, but not Wendigo, who continues on his way. Bondimus in 6th. 7th is Rob on Drums, Aloe, and Punisher in 9th. 10th is Lynchmas as it stands, and Mr. Smith coming out of the pits now. Let's go on board with Punisher, number 24 in the McLaren, the Canadian, driving along his favorite part of this circuit, right behind Aloe, so even looking to see if he can make a move. Down the long straight, you can't see it over the wall in this view, but if I do this, you can see the river to our left. They do a lot of rowing there, Olympic preparations and that sort of stuff, and it's maybe not the lap we wanted to join Punisher for. These cold medium tires struggling through the final chicane, but he navigates it past the Wall of Champions without hitting the Wall of Champions, which is of course the classic mistake to make there, and through at his home circuit. Punisher sits in 7th. Rob on Drums just ahead of him now. Going to be pitting very soon, will Rob on Drums. Bondimus in 5th. Behind... Oh, and that's what I saw. That's the movement I saw. Bunnies was into the pits, and he comes out of the pits on a set of softs now. So Bunnies will now continue on his way in 8th position. Rob on Drums will be into the pits soon. I'm not sure where he'll come out in relation to Bunnies, but I think Bunnies is either in an actual 8th position or perhaps a net 7th. It's Wendigo finally into the pits off of that set of soft compound tires. He'll put another set of soft compound tires on. He is triple softs this race. Ajax through the final chicane now. In the net lead of this race, you can see Mr. Smith up ahead waiting to be lapped. Only 86% in the tank for Wendigo. But here comes Ajax through turns 1 and 2. Where is Wendigo? Wendigo comes out of the pit lane now. Where's Gasman in relation to him? Ooh, it's going to be tight, actually. A race out of the pit lane, and it's Wendigo who comes out in front on those soft compound tires, and Gasman is on mediums. Not quite working for him just yet. Ben is in 4th on soft compound tires, triple softs. I know I was saying Wendigo would be dangerous on triple softs, and he is proving that now. but so will Ben. Ben could be a real player towards the end of this race. He is right on the tail of Gasman, who does have softs for his final stint, but is on mediums right now and will have a bit of a pace disadvantage compared to Ben, I think. Ben has the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:20.8. That's a very strong lap, and I think the other drivers around him will fear the fact that he can do that. As Gasman's a bit wide, here's Ben's opportunity. He's side by side for a moment, but he's going to pull into the slipstream now, down the long straight, and he is going to look for an opportunity. We can see it now. The way the cars just stretch their legs down this straight. In the slipstream, can he catch up? It's not going to be anything into the final chicane. He'll look to see if he can do something into turn 1. Ooh, it's a snap of oversteer. It's going to be very close, but he is pulling out of the slipstream now. He'll have the inside for turn 1. Down the inside goes Ben. The Toro Rosso driver makes the move on the McLaren. Gasman has to settle for 4th for now. Can he fight it back on the outside? No, he can't. He runs a bit wide, and that is not going to help him as Ben stretches his legs into 3rd, and next target is Wendigo. Wendigo does not have a pace or a tire disadvantage on him, I should say, but Wendigo, if Ben can keep up the pace that he set on lap 7, if he can do something like that again, Wendigo will be shaking in his boots. And Punisher saying on the lap that we watched him make a mistake at the final chicane, he got distracted by a lowie going into the pits, perhaps missed his braking point, and I have to say that is probably the single most relatable thing I've ever heard somebody say about this track. It is... I love this track. Its one major flaw is that this is the pit entry. You just don't brake for the final corner. Instead, you just go straight on, and that can be dangerous if somebody going into the final corner is right in front of you, and you're trying to go as fast as you can into the pits. And it also can be distracting trying to pick your braking point, and the driver ahead of you just doesn't brake. I love this track, but that is definitely the one flaw of it. I do think the pit exit is quite good, though. The way it cuts off turn 1 and feeds you out on the outside of turn 2, it really makes for some interesting battles straight away as you come out of the pits. It was a 22.9 last lap for Wendigo, and I can already tell you, before even looking at the time, that Ben is much closer to him than he was last lap. It's a 21.4. Wow! A 1.5 gained last lap is what Ben managed, and unfortunately... Oh no, that is the Williams of Mr. Smith. I thought Ajax was losing a ton of time to Wendigo for a moment. It is just Mr. Smith, who does well to get out of the way there, goes off track, lets the drivers through. Mr. Smith usually quite good with blue flags, and that's what you like to see from the drivers at the back of the grid. It's an important aspect of racing. There's no such thing as a race without back markers. Every race has to have somebody at the back of the grid. Somebody has to finish last. But what you love to see is the drivers that finish last being good about it, being sportsmanlike and getting out of the way when they have blue flags, and that is exactly what Mr. Smith does, and that is why we love to see it. Of course, it's awesome on the occasions when Mr. Smith does get himself further up on the grid. I remember a race in Monza a couple seasons ago where he had a fantastic time of it and gained a whole bunch of positions, finished quite well in that race. So Mr. Smith, of course, capable of pretty solid results, but when he's at the back of the grid, he's still really good about blue flags, and that's what you love to see from a driver. So a big thanks to Mr. Smith and the other drivers who have any other driver who's ever finished at the back of the grid and had to deal with blue flags. Thank you to them for getting out of the way of them. That's an important part of racing. Ajax leads the way. A 22.3 last lap from him. 22.1 from Wendigo, who gained 0.2 of a second. A 21.4 from Ben, who gained, good lord, gained another 0.7 of a second on that lap. So Ben is pounding down on Wendigo. He is not going to let the Lithuanian away. Ben really wants this. Ben is going to go for second pretty soon. He's in the slipstream, nothing doing yet. He won't be able to make a move into this final chicane, but any given mistake for Wendigo will give Ben an opportunity. Ben is going to sit here watching a Toro Rosso driver would like to make a move soon. Ooh, it looked a little bit wide there for Wendigo. But Ben follows him. A bit of a snap of oversteer there for Wendigo. Wendigo is under pressure, and Ben is loving putting this pressure on him. We'll go back off board. The Toro Rosso and the Cadillac. Ooh, Ben is closing up. This is not Ben's first season in Toro Rosso. He's won races every time he's been in a Toro Rosso. Ooh, bit of a snap of oversteer there. This time it's Ben making the mistake, but he still sticks in the slipstream. Down towards the hairpin, surely not. No, he thinks better of it. Surely he'll make a move down the long straight, down towards the final chicane. That is the prime overtaking spot on this track. Can he do it down here? He's on the overtake. Wendigo is not. Wendigo has saved a lot of overtake, but Ben now uses it. He goes to the inside. Ben is going to try and outbrake Wendigo. He doesn't even need to. He's already through before the braking zone. As long as he navigates this chicane okay. Ooh, it's a little bit of a mistake. Flattered over a sausage curb a little bit. So Wendigo's going to try and fight him back, but there's nothing he can do about it. And Ben takes second position. Ben is on a roll. Ben is absolutely throwing his name into this. I said when he was behind Gavin, oh, Ben could be a player towards the end of this race. No. He's a player now in the foundations of this race. He sits second ahead of Wendigo, and now a 21.6 from Ajax last lap, a 21.3 from Ben last lap, while battling. Ben is absolutely on fire right now, and if I were Ajax, I would be worried. If I were Wendigo, I'd be worried. I'd be watching my chances of first or second slip through my fingers right now. But also, worth mentioning is the fact that Ajax still has to run not only a set of mediums, but a set of hards as well in the ending 17 laps of this race. So Ajax is not all sunshine and daisies from here, whereas Ben and Wendigo both have both have another set of softs to use, only one more set at that, and once Gasman is off of these mediums, he will also be wanting to put on a set of the softs. Bondimus is in soft position, that's what I was about to say, but he's in 5th position. There's no such thing as soft position. Bondimus, though, is in 5th position on softs. He is also triple softs. So many drivers have gone so aggressive for this round on tires. And Punisher, soft, medium. That's not exactly unaggressive for him. The Canadian, enjoying a decent round, sitting in 6th, he's in a bit of a no man's land. Bunnies is pretty far behind him, but on a set of the softs, so should be gaining at this stage. A 21.7 last lap compared to a 23.4, so is indeed gaining quite a bit on Punisher. Punisher, meanwhile, though, does still have a pretty big gap behind him, and quite a gap in front of him. Bondimus now is going to put some pressure on Gasman down towards the hairpin. He looks to the inside. Oh, he goes for it. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. That was sketchy. That looked close. Not sketchy dangerous, just sketchy in terms of, like, will he, won't. But Bondimus now sits in the slipstream down towards the chicane. We haven't seen Gasman become a victim of the Wall of Champions yet. I don't know if we will. I mean, I hope for his sake that we don't. But on literally lap 1, we saw Bunnies become a victim of the Wall of Champions. But who knows? He's got 4 championships. Maybe he needs to do it 4 times before Gasman and Ajax become victims of it. Ooh, Bondimus. It's going to be a switchback there. I almost switched away from this battle. How could I do that? This is looking like a fantastic battle. Bondimus in the Lotus, pressuring the McLaren. He really wants to make this move, does the Brit. As you have a moment to enjoy the sounds of the engines there, Bondimus chasing after Gasman. This is pure racing. Lynchmus up ahead of them now. Ooh. Lynchmus maybe not doing quite as well to get out of the way as he would have liked there, but it looked like perhaps triggered by a bit of a mistake. And Gasman's still under pressure, of course, from Bondimus, but Bondimus, oh, he's gonna look to the inside. No, he thinks better of it. Bondimus is being smart about this. He doesn't want to throw a half-baked move up the inside of Gasman and risk contact. But here's his fully baked move towards the inside, down towards turn 1. He is through. Yes, he is. Number 32 through on number 89. Lotus ahead of McLaren. Bondimus in front of Gasman. Gasman drops to 5th. These mediums not treating him as well as he would have liked. Ben set a 20.4 last lap. That is one hell of a lap time. And Ajax, a 22.8 last lap, lost 2.4 seconds to Ben in one lap. That is utterly horrifying. Wendigo can't keep up with Ben. He's dropped off the back of him entirely. Ben in the Toro Rosso is staking a claim on this race. Ben could be our second two-time winner so far this season. So far, it's been Camo in round 1. It's been Bunnies in round 2, Ben in round 3, Bunnies round 4. Could it be Ben in round 5? If he can keep this pressure up on Ajax, if he can keep this immense pace up, he might just do it. 22.5 last lap for Ajax. It's a 21.9 for Ben. It's still 6/10 gain. Ben is clawing towards Ajax, gaining hand over fist. This is the most terrifying version of Ben we have ever seen. Get him on the streets of Tokyo Expressway and he is rapid. As it turns out, get him on the street, get him into the track of Montreal, and he is unbelievably quick. Ben is closing in on Ajax, pulling away from Wendigo, who has seen one of the benchmarks all season. Going into this season, there were sort of 5 favorites for the championship, which is a lot to say when you're trying to say favorites for the championship, because at what point do they stop being favorites if there's, like, at what point does the number of them cancel them from being favorites and just say, like, yeah, these are people who could win. But either way, there were 5 sort of favorites for the championship. Ajax was one of them. A former champion. Wendigo was one of them. Rapid in GTE, in his debut season, was, like, second in the majority of races, has been second a painful number of times in Formula X as well, becoming something of a CEO of P2. Mr. P2. And there's Ben's move. Ben to the inside. I didn't even realize he was that close. Ben is already going for it. He is gaining so rapidly that there is simply nothing Ajax can do. It is Ben in front now. What is Ajax even supposed to do about that with Ben's pace? A 21.1 last lap. A 22.8 from Ajax. 22.8 isn't even a bad lap time. It's just that a 21.1 is so rapid. Ben is a man on a mission, and he has taken the lead. The number 2 car. He's saying, you know what? You can talk about the favorites of the championship going in. Ajax, Gasman, Tamo, apologies. Ajax, Gasman, Tamo, Wendigo, and Bunnies. But I am going to put my name in the hat. Ben wants to be involved in this championship fight, and he is now in the lead, looking for his second win of the season. Ben is going to be in a very good position if he can hold on to this, but bear in mind, I mean, you can never count Wendigo out of these things. He is a rapid driver. On another set of softs after this stint, he will be. It's going to be interesting. Ben is on softs. He'll be in the pits maybe at the end of this lap, maybe at the end of the next one. Ajax, I would guess, will be in the pits at the end of this lap. Similar situation for Wendigo. Bondimus and Gasman are in. They'll both be pitting onto a set of the softs. Bondimus coming off of the softs as well, but Gasman coming off of mediums. Punisher into the pits as well. Here comes Bunnies. Wow, the pace difference going into the pits. That was actually a bit of a jump scare. Punisher coming off the mediums, going on to softs. Bunny's already refueling. It looks like he didn't change his tires, so he'll be using... Well, I mean, he can't change his tires. He's on his third set of tires already. So Bunnies will be going to the end of the race on these worn softs. And he'll be looking to see if he can get any higher than 6th position. Rob on drums. On softs, he will go on to another set of softs when he finally hits. Aloe's been pretty quiet in this race. He's on a set of mediums right now. Unfortunately, I can't remember what he started on. Here's Punisher, though. Side by side are the Ferrari and the McLaren. A tiny bit of contact there, possibly, as Punisher comes out of the pits behind Aloe. Lynchimus in 10th, Mr. Smith in 11th in his pit stop. Ben, Ajax, and Wendigo all sit in the pits. Where will Bondimus is not going to be with them. Bondimus is a bit too far back. So Ben, when will he exit the pits? He'll be on another set of softs. We'll keep with him. There we go. Leaving his pit box now, but you have to go down, you have to trundle down this pit lane for a little bit. And then, bam, you hit the speed limit and you can go, or the end of the speed limit, I should say. There's Ajax doing the same. He comes out on a set of mediums. Bear in mind, 10 laps left. He has to do 5 laps on these mediums and then 5 laps on a set of hards. Ajax still has 1 more pit stop left. He won't refuel in it, but he will change tires. And that's where we're going to see if his race begins to unravel a little bit. He looks so strong, leading for much of the race. He's down to 2nd now. And at this rate, I mean, Wendigo is going to be right on the tail of him. Wendigo could relegate him to 3rd at this rate. Bondimus in 4th, running actually quite a nice, calm race. Gasman behind. The Scotsman did lose out while he was on mediums, but on the softs now, he may be able to regain that position. Bunnies, in his Ralf Schumacher helmet for this weekend, is in 6th position. On a set of the softs, a worn set of the softs though. Punisher on softs as well. Rob on drums and Aloe have pitted. Rob on drums puts on another set of the softs as predicted, and Aloe puts on another set of the mediums. So Aloe is on mediums. Lynchmas pitting off of the softs. He'll be putting on another set of the softs. He has triple softs this round. And I believe this is Mr. Smith's 1 set of mediums that he will now bring to the end of the race. Ben. That's the name of the day, is Ben. Toro Rosso running a brilliant race here with Ben. Number 2, but he's the number 1 man today. Can Wendigo challenge him? Wendigo is through on Ajax. I did miss that. Was that recent? Yes, it was down towards turn 1. Oh, I wonder if Ajax hit the wall of champions. He doesn't have damage, so I'm guessing it was just perhaps not the best of lines for him. And Wendigo takes 2nd position away from Ajax. The mediums not working great for Ajax just yet. The Canadian, at his home race, is unfortunately seeing the win, and now 2nd place slip through his fingers. He'll just have to hope he can maintain 3rd. But with 1 more pit stop to go for him, and none for the most if not all of the other drivers on the grid. You have to wonder if he'd be able to keep up with Gasman, who's now ahead of Bondimus. Another overtake I've missed. I apologize for that. Gasman making a move on Bondimus, if I had to guess, probably in turn 1, where everyone else seems to do it as well. But Bondimus sits behind him now, and I'll go through the lights. If you watch Formula X frequently, you can tune this out. I mention this every single time Formula X races. But there are lights above the drivers' heads. A green light above Gasman's head. That means that he has 25% or more of his overtake left. There is a red light above Bondimus's head. That means he has 25% or less of his overtake remaining. And I don't know if there's any drivers it applies to. Yes, Mr. Smith has no light above his head. That means he has no overtake left. So, that is a lovely little tip for the drivers to use. They can see the lights around them and see, okay, well, I mean, here's an example. Gasman can look at Bondimus's red light and say, okay, well, I have over 25% left. He definitely has less than 25% left. I have more overtake left than him, so I can afford to be a little bit more aggressive on my overtake, whereas Bondimus has to be much more careful on his overtake. He knows he doesn't have much left, and he doesn't know how much Gasman has left either, but he knows he's got a green light, so he knows that Gasman could be quite rapid at this stage of the race. Having any amount over 25% left, he knows Gasman has more than him. He knows he has to be very careful with his own overtake use in that case. And some lovely views that these higher up shots are giving us. I really like this one. You can see the bridges towards the track and the biosphere in the background. Montreal, a lovely city with many attractions. And I have to say, I think this game has captured it quite nicely. The big architectural building to the right of the drivers down here is a casino, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I suppose that makes sense. Oh, as Bunnies makes a mistake and goes over the curbs. But perhaps shouldn't have taken that quite as quickly, maybe gaining a slight advantage there. I don't think he was taking it quite as quickly as he could have, but still perhaps a bit more quickly than he should have. Ben, flatters over those curbs, but he manages it nicely. Ben is up to the limit. Wendigo is behind him. Wendigo is a visible distance behind him, even. So, Ben, does he have the red light now? No, he's still green, so he's sitting at about 25% of his overtake left, I would wager a guess. And this is also, I'm just noticing now, a very up-to-date version of this track, because the grandstand there, the one facing the track that Gasman goes by right now, is a newer addition to this track. I believe new for the 2025 F1 season. So, quite an up-to-date version of this track, which I think is quite cool. Punisher, in his home race, sits in 7th position. 3 Canadians on this grid. Always lovely to see them. We've got quite a multinational grid. We have a few Americans that race. We have a few Canadians that race. Some Brits, some Lithuanians. When you get to GTE, you'll often get a couple Mauritians. Yeah, I mean, you get quite a diverse community here. I think it's one of the lovely things. I mean, we got Brits, we got this Scotsman. Ben, again, likes to race under a German flag. I know the game gives him a British flag, but he does like to race under the German flag, apologies. So, a German on the grid as well. We've really got drivers from properly everywhere. I mean, I'd love to know a statistic of how many different countries, and what were the different countries we've had drivers from. I know we've had Swedes, South Africans, all of the ones that I mentioned just now, of course, that are currently racing. We've had a couple Romanian flags, but I don't think we've had any actual Romanian drivers. Chris Boot, for example, drove under his PlayStation used a Romanian flag, but I believe Chris Boot was Mauritian. We've had a Mexican driver. At least one. I don't know if we've had more than that. We've had some Polish drivers race. Yeah, we've had actually quite a nice community of drivers over the years that SNL has been racing for. Originally a British league, and I mean ultimately still a British league, though now owned by 2 Canadians and a Scotsman. So arguably this is one of the home races of SNL now, I would say. And it's lovely to see it. For the first ever time, we are of course racing at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. C'est un circuit magnifique et on devrait retourner ici pour Des courses en GTE et même endurance. I'm realizing that as I try to speak French, I have no idea what I wanted to say, so that's gone well. But some words in French for anybody who knows French, given we're racing in Montreal, Quebec, which speaks French. And there's a yellow flag. I don't know what for. Ajax is in the pits, but that doesn't cause yellows. Oh, perhaps Mr. Smith had an off at turn 1. Yes, so I think that was probably it. So Ben actually doesn't have a very big gap to Wendigo now. Ben was running really, really nicely in the middle stint of this race. A 21.8 last lap, a 21.4 for Wendigo. Wendigo's been using a lot more of his overtake, but either way, Wendigo gaining quite a bit as a Lowy now gets out of the way, obeying blue flags. Good to see that. Always nice to see drivers obey the blue flag rules. But Wendigo now sits here with an opportunity. There's about 4 laps to go after this one. Laps 34, 35, 36, and 37. Wendigo is slowly picking up the title of Mr. P2 or CEO of P2 or any, words that you can come up with that mean second place a lot. Wendigo has won 1 race in his time in SNL. He finished 2nd in the championship in GTE. He sits 2nd in the championship right now in Formula X. He finished 1st in his 2nd ever race in SNL, and then finished 2nd in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th races of the GTE season. And then he finished 2nd in round 1 of Formula X. And then he finished 2nd in the 2nd round of Formula X. Round 3 he finished, I think, down in about 5th or 6th, so he didn't continue the trend there. But then in round 4 he finished 2nd again. He's done 9 races in SNL, and he's finished 2nd in 6 of them. This is his 10th race. This is his opportunity to win another one, get his 2nd win in 10 races, and moreover, not have 7 second places in 10 races. Ben is the one man that stands between him and that goal. A 21.5 last lap compared to a 21.3. Wendigo is gaining on Ben, but he is running out of laps. He's got 3 laps, and the Lithuanian driver, who wants to get rid of this title, I'm sure, is looking for a first Formula X win, a first win for Cadillac. Ben is looking for not his first win overall, not even his first win this season, but his 2nd on the season. Can he get it? His 2nd win in 3 rounds it would be. Gasman is a ways behind. Gasman is not in the fight for this win with only 3 laps to go. Bondemus either. Nobody behind them is either. Ajax and Bunnies are quite close with only 3 laps to go. So that's something we'll want to keep an eye on. The 2 brothers running their Michael and Ralf Schumacher helmets today are quite close. But Wendigo, can he get Ben? That is the question of the closing laps. Ben, 21.1 last lap. It was a 21.8 for Wendigo, apologies. Wendigo is dropping back a little bit now, 7 tenths slower than Ben last lap. He's up by almost a 10.5 over his personal best. He is close behind Ben, but he's not there yet. He needs to look for his opportunities. He needs to close into the slipstream. If he's not in the slipstream soon, then I am sorry to say it, but Wendigo will have a lot of difficulty getting Ben. Actually, I do think he's in the slipstream now. The question is when he can get into proper striking distance. Ben, with entering the penultimate lap, leads the way. A 21.5 last lap, a 20.6 for Wendigo. What a lap. Wendigo, 9 tenths faster than Ben last lap. We'll take a look back at the brothers. Bunnies is on the back of his brother. He goes to the outside, down towards the final chicane. Can he outbrake his brother? He does. He shuts the door on him, but he hits the sausage curb. He maybe skims the wall of champions, but he gets away without damage. Ajax is going to go to his inside, down towards turn 1. The Ferrari driver on the Williams driver. To the inside. Can he make the move? Can he pull it back in front? He can, through turn 1. But he's wide through turn 2. And Bunny sticks his nose up the inside and on the traction. He's through on the exit of turn 2. What a move for Bunnies. Gets through on his brother. Ajax looks to the inside for a split second down towards turn 3. Thinks better of it. It's better to make a proper move and to wait behind and make a proper move than to make a half move and cause an incident. Ajax behind Bunnies now. He sat in the lead of this race for so long. He sits in 6th place now. Ajax in 6th, Bunnies in 5th. Bondimus is looking a comfortable 4th. Gasman a comfortable 3rd. And Wendigo, entering the final lap, is right behind Ben. This is a lap showdown. Ben is not comfortable here. Ben is leading the way. A 21.9 last lap compared to a 21.6. Wendigo is the faster driver at this stage in the race. It is ultra close, and that is a huge snap of oversteer from Ben. A wonderful save from him, but oh my god, he is getting close to losing it. Here is Wendigo right on his tail. Wendigo wants an opportunity. That is the wrong way. There we go. Wendigo has almost exactly the same amount of overtake as Ben, but just a tiny smidge more. Wendigo is going to sit behind Ben now in the slipstream. Ben needs to ace these corners or else he will be so vulnerable to Wendigo down the long straight. Ben is looking good from Wendigo. We'll take this quick chance to look at the brothers. Bunny's looking a little bit more comfortable in front of Ajax. Back up to the front, into the hairpin. There's contact! Wendigo has hit Ben! Ben is going to get the switchback out of it, though. I'm not sure if Wendigo let him back through or if that was just a lovely switchback from Ben. I think Wendigo lifting off a bit. Yes, Wendigo does feel that he hit Ben. Wendigo allowing Ben to take the position back, and Wendigo, after making a mistake and taking Ben out, not out, but spinning him around almost at the hairpin, allows Ben back through. Ben is the winner in Montreal. What a drive! What a drive from Ben. The Toro Rosso driver takes a well-deserved second victory of the season. It's Wendigo second, Gasman third, Bondimus fourth. Bunnies will come home in 5th ahead of Ajax, barring any exceptional mistakes at the final chicane. No, he manages it nicely. It's going to be Bunnies home in 5th, the championship leader no more. Comes home in 5th, 6th for Ajax, 7th will be Punisher. 8th has already been Rob on drums, Aloe in 9th. Punisher navigates the final chicane one more time at his home race. It's 5th, 6th, and 7th for the Canadians today. Punisher comes home 7th. 8th for Rob, 9th for Aloe, 11th was Mr. Smith, and Lynchmas now will come home in 10th position. And that is your race at Montreal, SNL's first ever time coming here. And what a race it was. Can we please get a better view of Ben? Alright, that'll have to do. So, Ben, first place. What a drive. That was absolutely fantastic. I believe I have the provisional standings here. Okay, admittedly only of the top 5. But with that, Ben comes home in first. What a drive. Contact on the last lap of the race. It was drama. But Wendigo, feeling that he had caused the contact, feeling that he would have gained an unfair advantage, has let Ben back through, and so Ben takes the victory that was nearly stripped of him through contact with Wendigo. But Ben gets his well-deserved win. Wendigo, I mean, I was very sportsmanlike of him, and it's exactly what we strive for in SNL. But you can't help but feel a bit bad for the Lithuanian, who is coming home second more often than not. Mr. P2 gets P2 again. Gasman, third place. I think he will have been hoping for a little bit more than that in this race. But third will be a podium position for him nonetheless, and a result that he should be happy with, I would think. Bondimus comes home fourth, continues to claw Lotus back up the order. Bondimus, of course, wasn't here from the start of the season. Jam drove the first 2 races and then unfortunately dropped out of the season. Bondimus taking his place. And with that, well, Bondimus has been performing brilliantly, honestly. It's exactly what we expected from him after his season 11 performance. But nonetheless, Bondimus, he started late, so he's not really in the championship fight for the drivers. He's clawing himself and Lotus back up the order, though, and fourth place will be very good for that. Bunny's fifth. He was the championship leader. He is no more. I'll go through the top five, at least, in the championship in a moment. But Bunny's not quite the round he will have been hoping for, but I think going soft, hard, hard, he can't complain too much. That will be, I think, a very heartbreaking result for Ajax, though. His brother comes home in sixth position. He will have been hoping for better. He led the race for the better part of two stints. And now it's sixth position for him here. The mediums and hards really were his undoing towards the end of the race. It's only sixth for the Ferrari driver, seventh for Punisher. It's a solid result for the home driver. I think we know Punisher capable of a little bit more than that, but still a strong result for him, and continues the ever continuing and frankly at this point looking unstoppable progression of Punisher. When he joined back in season 6, he was a proper backmarker. I mean, no offense to anybody who is a backmarker. It is a important role in racing, but that is exactly what Punisher was at the time. But I think that anybody who is struggling, feeling that they could be doing better in SNL, would be wise to look at Punisher, who in season 6 was struggling, and right at the back of the grid, and he asked for help. He asked drivers for help, and they helped him, because that's what drivers in SNL do. We've got a very friendly group here, and he slowly but surely progressed his way through the grid until in season 11 he got his first ever podium driving for Ferrari. Nearly a win on that occasion, but he got a podium, and since then he's continued to deliver consistently strong results. 7th place for him today. And at his home race, I wanted to point out that progression that he's made. Rob on drums, the legend of SNL, 8th place for him in the Cadillac today. 9th for Aloe. Not quite the result he would have been looking for, I don't think. Lichvis comes home 10th. Triple Softs not quite paying off how he had hoped. And Mr. Smith, I mean, it's always hard to jump into these cars with little to no practice. But it was a pretty last-minute call-up for him, and he hasn't raced in SNL since... I mean, did he even race in season 11 of Formula X? I'm not sure. I feel like he did, but I can't... Oh, I feel like he did, but he possibly dropped out a bit early. Either way, his internet issues are resolved, and he is able to be racing with us again, and it is lovely to have him back. 11th place for him today. But there you have it. Ben is your winner. Let's go through the provisional standings. Wendigo will lead the way now on 114 points. It may be second place in the race, but it's first in the championship for him with only 4 rounds to go. 4? 3 rounds to go. Bunnies sits second, 6 points back. Gasman in third on 92 points. 16 points back from Bunnies, 22 from the lead. Ajax will sit on 89 points, 3 points back on Gasman, 25 on the lead, and Ben propels himself into the top 5 on 83 points, 6 back from Ajax, 31 back from Wendigo. He is becoming something of a dark horse for this championship, without doubt. 2 race wins on the season. There you go. This is, of course, all provisional, but that is the provisional standings. And in the constructors, Williams will lead the way on 168 points, but their gap will diminish. Cadillac gains on them up to 164 points, only 4 points back. Ferrari will be on 145, 19 back from Cadillac, 23 back from Williams. And McLaren will be on 137, 8 points back on Ferrari, 31 on Williams. So there you have it. There is some of the provisional standings. Unfortunately, I don't have the rest of them in front of me. That's provisional standings and, of course, the results of your race. Ben winning again. Let's try to get... There we go. That's the view we've been hoping for of Ben all along. Ben takes victory. What a drive for him. Well done. And Gasman saying Mr. Smith dropped out of the last 3 races in season 11. That does ring a bell. I was pretty sure he'd competed in season 11, but then I couldn't really remember for sure because I was also pretty sure he hadn't competed in the full thing. Either way, there you have it. That is your race for today. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did. It's our first time at Montreal. Proved to be a very interesting race, a very interesting result, that's for sure. And now I can say thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. But for now, thank you and good night.